Many people consider intuition to be a spiritual gift. And while it is true that there are people that are born in the world more naturally tapped into their intuition than others, it's actually an ability that's accessible to everyone. The problem is that almost nobody speaks of this one essential key that unlocks your intuition. This secret key is what I'm going to share with you here today. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to do to access and develop your own intuition. So, what is intuition? Essentially, it is the language that our soul uses as our inner compass. It guides us in the direction of whatever our deep, deep soul truth is and what our deep soul calling is. Intuition is not something that we think ourselves through mentally. It's not about telling the future, so to speak, and it's not something that's experienced externally. I'm mentioning this because these are the common misconceptions that can become stumbling blocks to our development. So, intuition is not mental in the way that it's not something that we think ourselves through. In fact, overthinking is one of the main things that actually blocks you from your intuition. And intuition is not telling the future, although it's possible to have intuitive premonitions where you get a glimpse of something that does end up unfolding in the future. The main function of intuition is actually giving us an enhanced awareness of the right now energy as a part of that soul navigating compass that it is. And what do I mean by that our intuition is not something that is experienced externally? We do get signs from the universe, from life, from God, from spirit, so to speak, that can show up externally around us in our environment. This can be through animal spirit messengers, elemental things, synchronistic patterns that happen. However, it's the inward intuition about these things that enables us to kind of connect the dots and know, like, oh, this is a sign, this is a way that the universe, spirit, God, life is communicating with us. In fact, our intuition has a two-way function. It's not only how our soul communicates to our awareness in that soul navigating way, but it's also how we have two-way communication with God, spirit, universe, cosmic consciousness, all that is. We can receive information psychically from our soul, and we can communicate information intuitively to the divine through the voice of our intuition. Now, I do have other videos on this channel here that talk about these things, so I'm not going to elaborate here. However, I will link some playlists and videos around this video or in the comments below so that you can continue to explore the deeper components of this on your own. So here, let's get into this key that no one talks about that is essential to accessing your intuition. And that is being willing to be deeply connected to yourself on a deep soul level, because that's where the voice of our intuition comes from. It is said that the voice of our intuition, the guidance of our soul, dwells within the heart space, the spiritual heart, the heart chakra. So, in order to access the guidance, the wisdom, the insight that our soul is always expressing to us, we have to be willing to allow our presence and awareness to be dropped into that space. And we have to be willing to be connected with ourselves in the present time. Present meaning our presence is anchored in the here and now. So the other thing that blocks us from our intuition besides overthinking, which is actually connected to overthinking, is when we are overly consumed or distracted by thoughts, worries, fears, concerns, regrets about either the past or the future. So, present moment awareness centered within your deep self, not distracting yourself with a bunch of thoughts all over the place, is the essential key. In order to access our intuition, we have to be willing to be deeply, authentically connected with our full depth of self in the here and now. And that includes our shadow side, meaning the parts of us that we unconsciously push to the side, we don't want to delve into. This acts as such a huge block. And believe me, I see this frequently with clients. As you know, if you watch this channel, I am a professional clairvoyant reader. So I see clients all day long, and notoriously, consistently, it's the people who don't have a sense of what their life direction is or what their intuition is are the people who are resisting being in connection with themselves. They're living with their awareness from the chin up. They're afraid to embody what's going on deeper within themselves. Typically, it's because they don't want to open Pandora's box, so to speak. They're afraid that if they allow themselves to drop their awareness down into their body, they're going to have to face a bunch of unresolved issues that they haven't dealt with. And that, there's truth to that. That's valid. However, being on our own healing journey is all a part of it. The more we are willing to come into a more refined sense of mind, body, spirit alignment and wholeness that sometimes does include having to be on a healing journey, healing old traumas and wounds so that we can be in our alignment is a real thing. So maybe do a little check in with yourself. Have you been unintentionally one of those people that's afraid to feel deeper into yourself? Typically, the fear comes from I don't want to feel feelings that I think I might be overwhelmed by. I don't want to have awarenesses that then I'm going to have to be responsible to make changes with or to leverage in the direction of my growth. But resisting these things is a huge block to your intuition because our intuition happens in here. It's very connected to our nervous system, the chakras, and all of that, which I do talk more about in my other videos that you can check out. So just know that it is that willingness to be authentically, deeply present and connected in your entire being, mind, body, soul, in that authentic, present way that is going to instantly activate your access to your own intuition. So, practicing mindfulness, practicing self awareness, practicing meditation, which ultimately is a mindfulness practice that leads to enhanced awareness, really is the number one practice that we can do that builds that inner awareness that we need in order to access our intuition. Other practices that can help with this is journaling. Journaling about what's going on deep within you that can help you to process these things and help you to feel grounded and comfortable and safe in connecting with yourself more deeply into your body, into your soul centered awareness. You will be able to recognize a genuine intuition by the sense or feeling of alignment and truth that comes with it. I have a separate video on my channel that talks about how to discern the difference between a true intuition and your fears and worries. And I made that video because that is a common question that I get from clients is how do I tell the difference between my true intuition, fears, worries, or even my hopes and dreams. And so you can find that video here on my channel. I'll link it below. But an authentic intuition will always feel just like a neutral piece of information that resonates deep within you as aligned and true. So honestly, accessing your intuition isn't as hard as people think it is. All we have to do is relax into it and ultimately quit fighting it by distracting ourselves with thoughts of past and future. The real challenge in intuition is not receiving the intuition itself, but trusting it. And trusting it just comes with practice of being willing to go out on a limb, see what happens when you trust your intuition, see what happens when you don't trust your intuition. And over time, in consciously practicing noticing your intuition and choosing to follow it, say yes to it, over time of doing that, you will naturally build confidence in how your intuition works for you. It's like every time you get an intuition and then follow it, it's like if you were working out with weights and doing a repetition. Every one of those is a repetition. The more repetitions you do, the stronger your intuition gets. And it not necessarily having to take like a long linear period of time. If you were to put yourself on a 6-week program of like, I'm going to trust my intuition every time I feel like I get a true intuition and see where it leads me, by the end of that 6 weeks, you're going to have a way more confident sense of your intuition than many of you may have right now. The other thing that I'm going to share with you here is how our intuition guides us, because knowing how to work with it can help you to work with it more consciously, more directly. And I've said this in other videos I have here about intuition. Our intuition, first and foremost, guides us. It guides us in the direction of what our true soul calling is. It informs us, it gives us information that helps us to navigate our life path. Our intuition can protect us through giving us senses, feelings, different forms of intuition that let us know when something is not aligned for us or when to stay away from a person or experience or situation. And our intuition inspires us. Did you know that many creative inspirations that we seem to suddenly have epiphany light bulbs of awareness over is coming from our intuition, the voice of our soul inspiring us? And our intuition deeply connects us with everything that is alive on earth and in the realm of spirit. It connects us with the souls of people, animals, plants, every living thing. So there's a lot of practical applications and good practical reasons to use your intuition as your life enhancing tool, because ultimately it is giving you that enhanced awareness of now, meaning it's giving you that extra edge of information that you will not get through only using your 5 physical senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. The more we practice noticing and accessing our intuition on purpose, the more it strengthens. It builds your self trust in your intuition and reduces the need for external validation. As you're practicing being in that present moment mindfulness awareness, you will naturally be more able to notice when you get a spontaneous intuition about something. Then, what you want to do is be curious about that intuition, have some self reflection about that intuition. Be aware of how did the intuition come to you? Was it a sense? Was it a feeling? Was it instinct? Did you hear something in your inner ear? Did you see something in your mind's eye? How did the intuition come to you? What was the intuition? How does it relate to what you know you're working through in your life, or what your goals are, what you're ambitioning towards, or what you're experiencing? You can even journal about these things, and in keeping a record of your intuition, which I talk a lot about in my videos here, Over time, you'll be able to look back in retrospect and just to really have a deep sense of knowing how it works and how valid it is in the way that it guides and directs you. In my experience in teaching psychic development over the past 30 years, one thing I've noticed is that people learn from other people's experiences and questions. And so, for that reason, I would love for you to share one time that you had an intuition about something that proved to be accurate, and maybe share a question that you have about intuition so that I can address it in the comments in ways that support your learning and the other people who are connected to this video here. If you love this kind of content, take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you receive notices as to my next uploads. I am right now working on a list of topics for a new intuition development series that I'll be launching this fall and winter. So if you have a topic idea, let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. All my love, blessings, namaste, and I will see you in the next video.